What's going on, guys? This is Jake at That Fit Friend, and today we're going to be doing a first impressions of the Under Armour Project Rock 4. So I've had a lot of asks about this model, and I'm finally getting around to putting them to the test, and I have a couple thoughts on this model as a whole because it is pretty reworked compared to the Project Rock 3. So 5 things to note right out of the box is number 1, despite having this heel lip here like the Project Rock 3, which actually made this shoe run a little bit small, this shoe does fit a bit more true in length. It is still fairly narrow through the midfoot and the toe box, so if you do have a wider foot, that could be something worth considering, and you might still need to size up a half size in this model. But overall, I think the fit in this model is much more true, but we still have that heel counter back here, so some folks who do have wider feet, once again, may feel like they're pushed up or a little bit limited with the sizing and fit in this model. The second thing to note about this shoe is that we now have a TPU wrap here on the lateral and medial side. So I'm 50-50 on this feature because with things like the Under Armour HOVR Apex 3, we have that TPU wrap, and what happens is the laces end up breaking down. Like, we do have layers here to help prevent a ton of friction with the laces, but I'm not sold that that's going to be actually a positive thing for long-term performance when we're putting a lot of friction into these laces with our training. So overall, this TPU wrap, I like it for the support idea of it with a midfoot because this is a booty style shoe with a lighter upper. I'm not sold that it's going to be great for the laces long term, but we will discuss this more in our formal review. The third thing to note about this model is that we still have that booty construction. So as you can see, we have a lightweight knit up here. Throughout the toe box here, we have a mesh. And overall, I do enjoy the upper of this model. I think it's actually a better step in the right direction compared to the Project Rock 3, and it feels a bit more durable in nature, especially throughout the boot here. Feels a little bit more thick and a little bit more like tenacious to resist any form of early breakdown. The fourth thing to note about this model is that we still have the HOVR midsole throughout and the TriBase tech on the outsole. So as you can see, we have both of those features still in. So if you are a fan of those, and if you have been a fan of those in the previous Under Armour Project Rock models, you're gonna like this shoe because it feels very consistent in regard to how much stability and responsiveness you're gonna get out of this model. In the Project Rock 3, you can train up to like 405 in them and they will be okay. Not the most stable across the board when it comes to cross training. However, you can train in like more of like that moderate range of loading with this model. So if you're gonna wear this to the gym for recreational training, etc., you should get a decent level of responsiveness and stability from this shoe. So the fifth thing to note about this model is that they actually increased the price point to $150 USD. So this is $10 more than the prior Project Rock 3, 2, 1, which sat at $140 USD. Personally, I don't necessarily think that $10 is a huge turnoff. Like, obviously, I would rather not spend more on shoes, but I do like the overall rework construction of this model. Honestly, my favorite model to date has been the 2, and thus far, like, this is much better, I think, than the 3 across the board, especially just with its overall fit and just features of this model. We still have that Project Rock branding on the back here, so if you are a big fan of the Project Rock line and what it stands for, then I think you'll like this shoe as a whole too when it comes to like the overall logos, branding, etc. But those are my first impressions, guys, and I will have a formal review up mid next week. I want to be able to push these a little bit more in the gym when it comes to lifting and just how they are with HIIT training, etc. So stay tuned for that. If you have any questions on this model in the meantime, feel free to hit me in the comments below. But again, I will have a full review up in about like 5-ish, 6-ish days. I have to film it, edit it, and I do all that by myself, so it does take a little bit of time. But as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. And if you notice a little bit of a different setup, I am in Missouri for a fish fry out in the Midwest. So if you're a Midwesterner out there and you know about fish fries, I feel you there. It's been interesting. We have a lot of family rolling in. Like, I literally have aunts and uncles rolling in as I'm doing this video. So we're putting the channel first really fast to get out some content for y'all. But as always, guys, drop a like on the video, drop subscribe on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.